Hey, normally I would keep any kind of advertising to the end, but it would be confusing if I did that in this case for reasons that will be clear. This video is a teaser for a video that's out in its full form on Patreon and Nebula right now. And I want to warn you before we get started that that full video is not actually an hour long. It's only like 49 minutes long. So I'm not trying to mislead anybody. And I'm not trying to hurt anybody either. Anyway, there's actually free trials on offer on Nebula right now. You can get 3 days free, so you can watch this video and as many of my bonus videos as you like right now. No questions asked. Anyway, ad complete. Sorry about that. I know that people would have been like in the comments like, hour long? This shit's 12 minutes. Kill yourself. And I didn't want to read it. Hey everybody, and welcome to the bonus video. So I have a question for all of you. Do you guys like comedy? Do you guys like to laugh? Let me ask you just a follow-up question. Do you guys like pushing the envelope a little bit? Do you guys like stuff that's a little bit less politically correct? If you answered yes to either of those questions, have I got a treat for you today? Because what we're going to do is talk about the Babylon Bee, the conservative, satirical, online periodical, the right's answer to The Onion. We're just going to be talking about articles that they've written, maybe some of their videos too. And my goal for this video, it's not to make it good. It's not to make it a good video. The goal for this video is to make it an hour long. The goal is to talk about Babylon Bee articles for 1 hour of your life. So, get ready for that, or, jump off now if you're not able to fucking handle it. We'll start here with an article called "Embarrassed Democrats Admit That They Can't Remember Why They Shut the Government Down." Democratic lawmakers quietly admitted on Friday that they can't seem to remember why they shut the government down in the first place. Washington insiders confirmed that the party had had several closed-door meetings to try and figure out what the government shutdown was all about. Thus far, none of them has been able to remember. What was it that we started this over again? Asked House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. I'm sure it had something to do with something really meaningful and important, like demanding black people be allowed to vote or something, right? Wait, I'm black and I vote all the time. That can't be it. So I find this article very confusing, and the reason for that is the reason why the government shutdown happened isn't obscure. Everybody knows about it. It's because of healthcare funding, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I understand the point of the article. The point is that, aren't Democrats kind of dumb? And in addition, aren't they kind of fucking stupid and forgetful and such? But the issue here is that they're not making fun of anything real in the world. Like, they're satirizing something, but what they're satirizing, I cannot say. To me, this article is kind of an admission of failure, right? The Republicans trying to halt healthcare funding isn't actually a very popular policy. Like, most Americans like it when their healthcare costs less, right? So the Babylon Bee doesn't really want to talk about that, right? They're not really invested in explaining and defending what this is all about. And so they just go to the most abstract joke possible, right? What if Democrats were stupid? What if they were dum-dums? And I just feel like that's very lazy. I feel like that's almost doesn't even qualify as a joke, if that makes sense. Like, it almost feels like it's not about current events at all. The last paragraph of this article is, at publishing time, Democratic lawmakers issued a statement that while they couldn't remember why they had shut down the government, they were absolutely certain that it was because of Donald Trump. Again, it's a sentence that doesn't quite make sense to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I understand like Trump derangement syndrome. I understand that conservatives are very into the idea that Democrats and liberals irrationally are opposed to Donald Trump. But in this case, what we're talking about here is lawmakers in Washington, D.C. who are opposing the policies championed by Donald Trump. So what does it mean for that to be a joke? Like, yes, it is because of Donald Trump, he is the sitting president of the United States, right? So in essence, it is because of Donald Trump and because of the Republican legislature that he obviously has a tremendous amount of influence on. This is This is very common knowledge, I'd say. So it doesn't really seem to qualify for Trump derangement syndrome to me. And to be clear, I'm not upset by the joke. Sure, it pushes the boundaries, and frankly, I respect that. I mean, I'm fucking tired of this PC bullshit as much as the next guy, right? You guys know me. You guys know what I stand for. But the problem is, it's just not very funny, because I think comedy, it has to be kind of specific to work. It has to be about the real world. It has to commentate on the things that happen in our day-to-day lives. And so when they don't actually address the reason for the shutdown, and they pretend it's just about Democrats being dum-dums, and they don't say what's going on, it just feels like they're trying to hide something. And so that's not very funny. And this is all the stranger because of another article that I'm about to read you some of, and that's called America's Obesity Crisis Solved as EBT Benefits Run Out. The American Medical Association announced the long battle with American obesity had finally come to an end thanks to EBT's benefits running out amidst the ongoing government shutdown. The government being shut down is the best thing that could have ever happened to the health of the American people, said Dr. Anton Scout, a pediatrician and AMA board member. People can't afford to get fat anymore. For the first time in decades, Americans are losing weight, and they owe it all to the government shutdown. Help me, I'm starving, said Natalie Graves, a lower-income mother from Tennessee. I'll eat anything as long as it's not fruits or vegetables, because I'm a fat, poor person. So I think that's pretty interesting, right? When it comes to a policy that Republicans are championing and which isn't really particularly popular among the Republican base, which is, making healthcare less affordable, the Babylon Bee is pretty cagey, right? They recognize that healthcare costs are kind of an in-group concern, and so they don't make light of that. But when the policy of Republicans targets an out-group, like fat, poor people, then we can actually get pretty specific and say it's actually fucking awesome and dope that they can't buy food anymore. I also think this joke suffers, once again, and I'm sorry to say this because, it's kind of old hat, obvious as a point, but I think it suffers from the fact that it doesn't really make any sense. What is this person, Natalie Graves, talking about? Why would she have so much access to fruits and veggies, but the only thing being cut off for her is junk food? It's not like peppers, onions, tomatoes. Those things are all free, and the only thing that costs money is Sour Patch Kids, right? Like SNAP helps people buy all the foods in a grocery store. You know what I mean? So it once again doesn't quite make sense. It actually just doesn't make any fucking sense. So I think that has to lose it a few points as far as comedy is concerned. As far as what I think of as comedy, as far as that's concerned, I think it isn't very funny. Okay, guys, can we just please be a little bit more lighthearted for just 1 second? Like, does it all have to be doom and gloom? Let's read an article that's actually pretty funny. Trump invites Mario and Sonic to White House to strike historic peace deal. President Trump has just announced an invitation for Mario and Sonic to come to the White House and broker a historic peace deal. In yet another win for world peace, the two arch rivals are expected to walk away from the negotiating table with a historic and groundbreaking settlement for both sides, thanks to Trump's negotiation skills. This will be the easiest peace deal to broker, maybe ever, Trump told reporters. I'll just get Mario and Sonic in a room together, maybe play some Olympic games or something. Trust me, it's a total slam dunk. My predecessors have been trying to do this for years, but they just couldn't keep up. Sleepy Joe would never have been able to pull this off. So this gets at an important point in the Babylon Bee lore, in my view, which is that when they're not saying anything that feels very like politically interesting, when they're not like going after people, when they're not like, pushing the boundaries or being politically incorrect or whatever, most of their comedy, it's just like low random. You know what I mean? What if instead of Russia, Ukraine, what if Mario Sonic? What if Mario Sonic Olympic Games? You know what I mean? Like there's no actual joke in that idea. It's just like, between Mario and Sonic, could Trump sure is trying to Trump sure is trying to broker peace between a lot of people right now. But what about two iconic video game antagonists, Mario and Sonic? You see what I mean by that not quite really passing muster? Like, the thing about The Onion is that they make jokes that are like about the subjects they're talking about. Like, they make jokes that like skewer current events, but this isn't skewering anything. You know what I mean? It's just saying like, it's just kind of like Mad Libs. It's giving Mad Libs more than anything else. Anyway, let's go into another article. Why not? Trump welcomes top Australian diplomat to White House. And the picture here is Donald Trump really poorly photoshopped with Bluey's dad, but I don't remember his name. I don't have any little kids in my life. I don't know Bluey's dad's name, but I do know that that's Bluey's dad. I guess I'll find out. I'll find out right now, probably. In one of his most popular moves of all time, President Trump invited top Australian dignitary Bandit Healer to the White House. And for those who are keeping track, I believe Bandit Healer is the name of Bluey's father in the hit Australian animated show Bluey. I love this talking dog. He's one of the best, they say, Trump told reporters. My grandkids are always talking about Bluey, and I thought, I've got to get this dad of theirs over to the White House for a visit. It's a great show. Everyone's saying so. So within the world that Trump is occupying, Bluey, like within the world of this article, Bluey is still a famous dog, famous among children for his fun cartoon show. So what is Bluey's dad within the cosmology of this Babylon Bee article? like, is he a fictional character, or is Bluey like a reality television show that's just uniquely popular among 3-year-olds? What is Trump's approval rating skyrocketed in the wake of the move. I was surprised by the visit, if I'm being honest, mate, Healer told a reporter. I'm not much for politics, but I did think it was a fun idea. Bluey thought it was funny and asked me to please take photos of anything fancy. Those in attendance reported Bandit Healer and Trump enjoyed a nice conversation about parenting and the challenges of raising kids/puppies in today's world. I'm not like, I literally don't get it. Like, I think that whatever's going on here is going way above my head somehow, because this kind of reads like a Bluey puff piece without any sort of like edge to it. I don't understand what the connection between what it might be saying about Trump or Bluey, that Trump invited Bluey's dad, Bandit Healer, to the White House. I just don't get the joke. At publishing time, the article continues, Trump's ratings plummeted after he announced he was holding a summit with the cast of K-pop Demon Hunters. That's the last line of the article, and again, I don't really understand why that would be the case. Because does the Babylon Bee think K-pop Demon Hunters are bad in some way that Bluey isn't, or rather is it more just like random Mad Libs humor that somebody took 3 seconds to write? Like, what's the point of that joke? All right, so that's the end of the teaser. I hope you enjoyed that. I make monthly bonus videos over on Nebula and Patreon, and if you want to watch the whole thing, go over to either of those places. Okay, bye. I'll see you next time.